What's up, everyone? It's Brian from the Xact IT and Cybersecurity YouTube channel. Welcome to this live stream video where we're going to let you know what happened at Rite Aid and how they got breached several years ago, and it's just making the headlines today. We're going to let you know what happened to Rite Aid, how it's impacted their customers, what this means for you, and what do you need to look out for. So stay tuned to the video as I give you tips on how to protect yourselves from all these businesses being attacked by cyber criminals. They're not doing a really good job of protecting your data, so this channel was built to help individuals know what's going on out there so they can protect themselves, but also let businesses know that they have resources that they can tap into if they really want to deal with this problem. So remember, like the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when other companies have data breaches like Rite Aid, Disney, AT&T, all the ones I talked about this week. Every week there's hacks, every week there's companies being breached, and we bring it to you on this channel. We thank you for your support on our way to 6,000 subscribers. Never thought we'd get there this quickly. Appreciate the support, everyone. Keep it going. Thank you. So roughly 2 million Rite Aid customers saw their information stolen in a hack announced this week by the company. Like I said, I'll give you a little bit more detail here in a few minutes, but it happened a few years ago, before COVID actually, and this ransomware gang, Ransom Hub, claimed responsibility for the attack, estimating that 45 million customers were affected, but Rite Aid confirmed that the number is actually far lower. This data breach occurred on June 6, compromised customer information from 2017 to 2018. The breach involved a hacker pretending to be a company employee to steal data related to specific retail product purchases. Rite Aid detected the hack 12 hours later, but then valuable information was already lost. And we'll talk about what that valuable information is here. Rite Aid says that the stolen data included the name of the person who purchased the products, their address, their date of birth, and their driver's license number or whatever government ID they may have presented at the time of purchase. More importantly, or what they're looking at as a silver lining, Rite Aid, that the breach only affected customers who made purchases between June 6 of 2017 and July 30th of 2018. Data is going to be sold on the dark web. That's what's happening here with this information. Consumers, when we see this information sold on the dark web, consumers usually start to see an uptick in scams and frauds related around this product that may have been purchased through Rite Aid or from Rite Aid themselves. Things like phishing emails, text messages that claim that they're from Rite Aid, other things. We've seen letters, we've seen phone calls, we've seen various other ways that people have been scammed. Facebook messages are another more or less common way, but we've seen it. So just be on the lookout and question everything that you receive. Rite Aid has set up a hotline, or there is a process in place for customers to get information to see if they've been affected. I'll give that information here in a minute. But that's really the only mechanism you should use to communicate with Rite Aid if you feel like you've been impacted or you're being asked to give some information or something just seems out of the ordinary with the message you just received. It more than likely is the case because Rite Aid is basically setting up a hotline and telling everybody to call them. I don't believe that there's going to be any communication going out to individual customers other than the ones that were affected, which will receive a letter in the mail. That would be the only communication I would expect, basically directing you to call this hotline and or sign up for identity fraud monitoring, which I'm sure Rite Aid will be providing. So as I've mentioned lately in these videos, companies are struggling to deal with this problem around cybersecurity. And we've developed a program here at Xact IT that we want to help IT professionals get the cybersecurity in place that companies need in order to protect this information. So real quickly, if you're an IT pro, I have links down in the description. It's our new Defend Your Business coaching program designed specifically for IT directors, IT professionals, anybody who works in IT, who maybe is thinking about or has cybersecurity knowledge and certification that their company isn't implementing and they don't have any clue how to get their company to start doing this stuff, I have a course that's going to teach you exactly how you can get this done in your company. It's critical. Your company needs this. Sign up today, 80% discount. We're going to sell this at $100 a month very soon. Right now, you can get it for $19 a month. Links in the description. Appreciate your support. So let's move on to what Rite Aid is saying. Rite Aid is saying that no Social Security numbers were stolen as a result of this, which is good. No financial payment information was stolen, but we do have, licenses, IDs, the drugs you may be purchasing out there as information. And we've seen scammers go as far as using healthcare information to extort individuals. I know of one case where a CEO who was extorted because he was simply being treated for depression, and this healthcare information was stolen by cyber criminals, and then they decided to sell it on the dark web, and then the people who bought it decided to start targeting this CEO and threatening him with threats that we're going to release this healthcare information to your employer, to your board, if you don't pay us. That's a lot of stress on somebody, a lot of things that people have to deal with when they're already dealing with things like depression. It's not fun to have, these cyber criminals calling you and harassing you, emailing you, sending you messages wherever they can find you to try to get you scared in order for them to make a buck. It's a really sad state where things are at, but individuals need to understand that this is how it's going. All these data breaches that you're seeing, all the things that are in the news on this channel, when you see these data breaches and you think to yourself, oh, another data breach, well, nothing really ever happens to me. Those days are coming to a swift end. Individuals will be impacted in some way by identity fraud or some kind of fraud or theft because of all these data breaches, unfortunately. So as I mentioned, the breach could still pose a significant problem for customers, especially those who bought drugs or some other medication from Rite Aid. It could expose that sensitive medical information as part of this hack and the selling of it on the dark web. So the company is sending notices to impacted customers. So if you were one of the 2 million, you should get a letter, and a hotline has been set up. That number is 1-866-810-8094. Again, 866-810-8094. That's been set up to answer your questions about maybe if you're involved and maybe what was stolen. You can get that information if you were part of it, plus what support Rite Aid will be providing you as a result of this breach, which should be a decent amount around identity protection and healthcare information protection. The line is open from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Central Time, and it will be available until October 15th. So you don't have forever. So you have roughly about 3 months from now to, use this line. So if you think you may have been impacted, I would give that number a call. Rite Aid has expressed their regret over the incident and is implementing additional security measures, as all businesses do after they get hacked. Hopefully they actually do it. They want to try to prevent similar attacks in the future, they said, and they've reported the incident to law enforcement and federal and state regulators as required. Despite the efforts, the breach adds to Rite Aid's challenges, as the company has already had massive financial troubles over the recent years. They filed for bankruptcy in October. The company roughly operates about 1,700 locations, a lot of them closing quickly these days, and they employ about 50,000 workers. So for me, folks, this breach is just another example, another piece of evidence that large companies through small companies are struggling. They don't have substantial resources to deal with this problem and protect themselves from cyber criminals. New technologies and systems like Slack and Teams are being introduced before companies have time to evaluate and vet them and decide the proper use of them. Companies are clearly not keeping up with training their employees on how to spot things like phishing emails, or somebody who might not even be an employee who's doing something in the company. Somebody who might be calling you acting like they're from IT and they're really just trying to break into your system. We know companies are way behind in training their employees on all the ways that cyber criminals are attacking them. They're not spending enough time, they're not taking enough time out of their day, they're not allowing their employees to take enough time out of their day to maybe take some training to really understand this stuff. You can't just do it once a year, you can't just do it a couple times a year. There's just too much information that needs to be passed down to your employees, that you need to do it on almost a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And to say you don't have time is to basically say, we want to get hacked. That's my opinion. You can argue with me on it, but when you say we only want to do training once a year, once a quarter, every 2 weeks, you're limiting the information you can pass down to your employees, increasing the risk. There's no other way to look about it. Or to look at it. To move on here, companies need to do better. Smaller companies, I talk to you guys all the time. You think, we're too small to be hacked. This will never happen to us. You get hacked more than the big guys. The benefit that you get is you don't have to report it. It doesn't affect as many customers or employees, so they don't go running to the internet. The biggest lie that small business owners tell themselves is that they're too small to be hacked. There's more companies on dark web leak sites that are under 50 employees right now than are over 50 employees. So if you're under 50 employees, this is happening to you. It just doesn't impact as many people, so the word doesn't get out as quickly or at all. So you enjoy the benefit of staying under the radar when these cyber attacks happen. But they are happening, and companies need to do things about it. So if you need help with anything, links down in the description below. Businesses, you can get all kinds of help around protecting yourself from these scumbags. Rite Aid, breach, stark reminder, you have to be vigilant. Businesses and individuals, make sure you're using a password manager. Make sure you're using strong passwords. Don't use the same password across multiple sites, making it easy for cyber criminals to log into different accounts under your same email address and password or username. Got to use a password manager to manage this. Got to use separate passwords on every site you log into. That's why password managers exist. They make that easy to do, and they make it significantly harder for cyber criminals to break into your accounts. And if they happen to break into your accounts, even if you're doing all the things the right way, you have multi-factor to back you up there, and implement multi-factor authentication on any account that you don't want anyone getting into. I even have stupid little accounts that I don't even care about protected with multi-factor authentication, just because I don't want to have to deal with somebody taking over my accounts one day. Monitor your accounts. Make sure you know if somebody's withdrawing money from your account. Check it regularly. If a cyber criminal has enough information on you, he can take money from your bank account using a thing called ACH. If you don't catch it in time, your bank can't pull that funds back, and it's not protected by anything like FDIC or anything like that. That money's gone. What cyber criminals are doing today, they are making transactions for $100, $200, $300, usually under $500. Maybe they'll do 3 in a row, right, in 3 days. And that's $1,500 out of your bank account, right? Didn't set off any alerts because it wasn't a big number. So make sure you set your alert thresholds to a very low number if you're not going to log in every day and check. Somebody withdraws $100 or more, you should get an alert, right? Check that. What was that? Make sure it was legitimate. Make sure you know about it, because the quicker you can deal with it with your bank or your credit card company, the easier it is for them to pull those funds back for you, and you can get those funds back. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes for them to help you. And a lot of times with ACH, they can't get it back after a certain point, and you lose it all. So the Rite Aid data breach, folks, is a significant event that happened a long time ago. It's concerning that it took 6 or 7 years for them to kind of figure out what went on and bring this to the public's eye, but it underscores the importance of cybersecurity. It's been 7 years since this breach happened, and not much has changed. We still have cyber criminals breaking into companies at an alarming rate. So whether you're a consumer or a business, taking proactive steps to protect your data is critical. Stay informed, stay secure, And remember to protect your information at all costs. Businesses, you need to protect your customers' information at all costs. So stay tuned to our channel and learn how to do that. You'll get updates on cybersecurity news, cybersecurity threats, what your business needs to be aware of, what you need to be aware of as an individual. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next live stream.